Morning, morning, morning. Good morning. Good morning to you.
There's an education in this. There's an education in this, folks. Today is World Bee Day. Today, the 20th, World Bee Day. We cannot let this go by without having some beekeepers are here with us. These are people who understand bees. And you know, when you look up to your roof and you see this little flying around, you think, two of us can't live in here. So something has to go. And where are the rest of you? Because when I see one, there must be another. Where is it nesting? All of those things we want to have an appreciation for because they do add value to our ecosystem. Joining me right now is Earl Mears and Thora Kamabacho, both directors of Emerging Bees Co-operative. And across from them is David Small, who is a regional apiculture expert. Whoa. You're an expert in apiculture. What is that? How do you know? How does one know that you are an expert? What do you have to do to qualify for that title?
I did some training at University of Florida, and that was a few years ago over the period of time. And then I was involved, at least in December of 2015. I was asked by the board to become a board member as far as teaching beekeeping throughout the Caribbean is concerned.
Right, so there's a lot to learn from you as an expert, right?
Yeah.
But these are directors now. Let's talk to you. What is it that we don't know or understand about bees?
Well, so what we don't know about bees? Well, most bees in a hive are actually females. And typically it is only the females that actually sting you. The males are only there for one reason, and that is to
procreation.
Correct.
See that? Useless. Whereas for a lot of them, for us males. But that's interesting. That's really, so a lot of times when I see a whole cluster of bees, they're mostly females.
Yes.
Yes.
In other words, stinging bees.
Yes.
The working bees.
The working bees, the workers.
Okay, Thora, your perspective.
That's fact.
But it's a fact. Because while they're working, what are they doing?
'Cause
Cleaning house?
female bees go out and they forage. They bring pollen back to the hive. They're the one who take care of the queen. They take care of the young bees. They also do clean the hive, and the male bees are just there to eat and procreate with a queen.
correct.
Thank you very much.
That's it.
You see, they don't want to diminish our role. We have a very critical role in all of this. And so if it were not for us, you wouldn't have that cluster of
This
bees.
is true.
So there you go. And then they set about to do their housework. But we get scared of the bees when we see them. Why? Why should we? Or shouldn't we?
Well, we shouldn't. Typically, bees tend to be defensive. They will defend their food. They will defend the colony. And on some occasions, they will, if you encroach on their domain, they will defend it, right? And that is where the clash between humans and bees come, unfortunately.
Bees don't have brains, so they don't care. They're just about protecting themselves. Or do you want to say something? Go ahead.
No.
They're just instinctive?
They're instinctive. As I said, they're defensive.
Yeah.
A lot of people tend to refer to them as being aggressive. And David will talk more about the defensiveness of bees. Yeah.
All right. So Thora, but they're not just a clean house, but in that whole process, something happens. And what happens that we need to also appreciate?
We need to appreciate that it takes thousands and thousands of bees to make that little jar of honey that people are so gung-ho about these days, because there are lots of health benefits to honey, but people don't appreciate the bees that make the honey, because one bee in its entire life will not even make a teaspoon of honey.
Really?
Really. Not even a teaspoon. One bee. So, and it's thousands of bees in the hive, and they go about every day, they forage, and they have to come in and they put that in. Other bees will come and they will transform that pollen that they take into honey. It has to be filled into the cells. The cells will be there. When they're full, they'll be capped, and they go through a process, and that's how we get honey.
So what does the queen bee do? She just sits on her throne?
No.
She's not a worker bee.
No, but she does work. From the time she's hatched and she goes on her mating flight, she leaves the hive just once, usually in her life. She goes on her mating flight where drones from other colonies would come. She mates with many drones. And this would help with
have to forgive me. I just had a descriptive term for that queen bee, but nevertheless, go ahead.
This helps with the diversity within the hive
Yes.
and the genetics. And then once she comes back, she lays eggs for the rest of her life.
So all of those bees, those worker bees that are around her, are hers, her children?
Yes.
Is it possible then that another queen bee's worker bee could join my this colony?
Sometimes on rare occasions, but
There'll
most
be a
of the
fight.
times bees will kill other bees that come in.
See, we're getting an education on bees, don't we? Understand.
Unless they come with pollen or
Yes, as a
nectar.
gift.
Bring a gift.
Correct.
Don't just show up without a gift.
Exactly.
If you bring a gift, we welcome you into our hive.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
don't bring a gift, sorry.
Correct.
Leave, please. If not, there's a big fight going on. And so that's how it basically works with bees. And so in our understanding of bees, we tend to want to reach for a can of something, or we take a shoe, bam, because they have to die. I can't coexist with you. Why should I find a different approach to managing bees?
Well, we need to recognize the importance of bees. Bees are very important pollinators for us. And pollinators are one of the key things that we need for our food, in terms of growing food and so forth. And if we don't have bees, then it impacts us. All right, so we need to save the bees, and that is one of the reasons we have World Bee Day, to highlight the importance of these pollinators to us.
Indeed. So we need to pay greater attention because
Yes.
they're an important part of our ecosystem. Don't just simply be afraid. I asked them, in our talking before we came live, I said one day while driving, I'd stopped by this traffic lights and a bee flew and it hit me bam on my shoulder and died. And you said, Thora, they're flimsy.
I said they're fragile.
They're fragile. So while we see them there, they're nothing much really.
They're not.
And so if they crash into you, that fragility can cause them to die. And
It
not
can.
just stun them, but it could cause them to die. They're that fragile, David?
Yeah.
Wow. So talk to me a little bit now about, okay, I see a hive, I see a cluster of bees. I shall not coexist with it because it's up high in a tree, somewhere up at the top of the roof, with a corner of the roof or something, and I'm trying to get them out. What are some of my best solutions? Because I'm not climbing up there for nothing.
Agree. I think the best thing for you is to call a professional, because there are beekeepers on island that remove bees for, we call a small price.
Fair.
Yeah. But I believe sometimes we work also with the old folks. You know, if we go by a person that we figure that they did their time for Barbados, so we just move that hive for free.
So, but you use a professional.
Yeah.
And why should I? But I also see them sometimes clad in this whole protective gear. He brought it along, folks. He brought it along, indeed. And children watching, you need to pay attention to this. And you have this because you want the body to be protected.
This is we call a bee suit, and this is a ventilated,
Right.
ventilated bee suit. I mean, it cools,
Yeah.
and you put it on, it would not be as hot if you could use the full cotton suit.
Right.
And one of these suits are, when I say it got holes in it, but
Right.
they protect you even better than the cotton.
So in other words, the bees can't get in here.
I would not say that either.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because sometimes you will go do a job, everything is good. As you take off your veil, wax.
One in there. Yeah.
So them is things that I find out that a lot of people will tend to want burn the bees.
Yeah.
And I saw a lady one time actually almost burn her house trying to get rid of some bees.
We can't coexist.
Yeah, we need.
That's the way we see
I
it.
think that's why we need to educate the public
Yeah.
more on the importance of bees.
Right.
And my thing would be that if we could get into these schools at the earlier age, because when I travel, we see schools and then the children 5-6 years old, they already have their own bee clubs. And if you could get something like that going in Barbados, then people exactly know how important the bees are and how good they are to us.
We see a bee and we run.
Kill it.
And then, or kill it. But when we run, it feels as if it's following us.
Yeah.
It's like, you take off, I take it off after you. But does that, why does that happen?
Now, when a bee stings you, it gives off what we call a pheromone. And this pheromone is telling the other hives, or if we got an intruder, and we have to deal with the intruder. Now, normally when the bee stings you, it dies. And bees don't like committing suicide.
Yes, yes.
So it's a give and take. So at the end of the day, as long as we could get a program, like going into the schools, I think we have to go through the Ministry of Education and get something like that started. So at the end of the day, we know that, all right, you got honey, you got pollinators, you got people that got like vegetables, they grow the crops. You know, it takes 8 visits by one bee in order for a watermelon to set. Take 8 visits by a bee in order to have a proper set on a watermelon.
So they're critical to our agriculture. So don't kill them off.
Yeah.
Allow them to do what they're supposed to do. They're worker bees after all.
Yeah, and they do not interfere with you, you know.
We interfere with them?
Yeah, we interfere with bees. Now, for example, you might be sitting here and you saw a bee, now what you're doing, you're interfering with the bee, with their flying pattern.
No, he interfered with me first.
No.
She interfered with me first.
She's being inquisitive.
She was only simply being inquisitive.
Yeah, so they just come around.
Didn't invite you in. And so there's a consequence to that.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't invite you in. But there's some beautiful things that bees do. And I know, Thor, you brought along some honeycombs and so forth. And who would have thought that this pest, apart from pollinating and all the rest of it, I'm saying it like that deliberately, who would have thought that out of that would flow this? And so when you remove all the bees, could you just take it in your hand? When you remove all the bees, this is what remains?
Yeah.
This is what they work to do?
Yes.
This is what they are existing to do?
This feeds them.
Oh, this feeds them?
Yes. And we take it to help feed us as well. But we always leave back some in the hive for them because this is what they use for food.
So where did it come from to feed them?
They take this.
Because as far as I was aware, they made that.
They did. From the nectar and the pollen that they take from the flowers.
Oh, flowers, okay. Is it creation beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely is.
Absolutely.
Speaking about creation, you know that we've gone on, the only thing that hasn't changed through the years is the honeybee.
Yeah.
The honeybee remains constant. But then you have all different like animals and things. You hear about the dinosaurs, but no, the bee remain constant.
Does all honey taste the same?
It does not.
Because it depends on the bee? And where they got their pollen?
Yes, please.
They got the nectar from.
There's a lot to learn.
Yeah.
There's a lot to learn. And you guys teach this?
Yeah.
But David,
David is the teacher here.
Yes,
Yes.
But you are a member of this Emerging Bees Cooperative.
yes,
So it's a cooperative of beekeepers?
correct.
Okay.
So we actually came together as a group during some training that David conducted last July, and we had come together basically from Hurricane Barrow, first as a group where United Island was actually devastated by Barrow, and most of their beehives were actually wiped out. So we arranged with the Ministry of Agriculture to send about 4.1 tons of sugar down to help support them and get them back up. Then in October, we actually formally came together with some other beekeepers as well to form this cooperative.
Okay. This is fascinating. I would love to talk to you guys some more for real. But, you know, time is against me at the moment. I want to thank all of you for coming. Earl Mears, Thora Cumberbatch, David Small. David is the expert in all of this. But the cooperative of bees exists. And so in understanding more about the work of the bees and their function within our ecosystem, we have a greater appreciation of why we shouldn't be afraid. As David said to us, we are disturbing them and we move them away. We're the ones who are creating the disturbance. They just want to be friendly. And so sometimes in our unfriendliness, we create a problem for ourselves. But education is knowledge, and knowledge is empowering indeed. So thank you very much all for coming to us this morning on this World Bee Day.
Morning, morning, morning.